Hey MGTOWs, this is Vention. Well, actually, that's my video from yesterday. This is Vention. I just got off work, had a good day, and I came home to see that the Bitcoin price has been pumping very nicely. We're at like 4,200. Gotta love that. I love it when a graph looks like that. Basically, I just wanted to answer a question I got in the comments, which was a really good one. And basically, a guy named Rajay, hello, that's his screen name. He asked a question that he said, "Hey Vention, what's better to invest in, gold or silver? Thanks." And I wrote him a big long comment, and it'll be there in the previous video, but I figured I'd answer it in person. Basically, we're in a situation where, okay, pause. Let me go back to the basics. I'm old, right? See the gray, you know? I've seen multiple recessions and booms and crashes in the economy. And I've seen, they just seem to be a cycle. It's like a very slow heartbeat in the economy. The bankers, every 7 to 10 years, they cut back all of the lending and raise the interest rates, and then everything just implodes. Businesses go bankrupt, people lose their jobs, and then prices of everything crash as people are trying to free up enough cash to pay their house mortgage, and then probably divorces do skyrocket in situations like that. As soon as the money dries up, the women, boom, they're gone. Out to shop for another guy. But basically, every 7 to 10 years we have a big, huge crash, right? Happened in 2000, happened in the mid-90s, happened in 2008, and now it's happening in 2018, right? It's every 7 to 10 years they just yank the rug right out from under everybody, and during those times, stocks and real estate just crash, and precious metals get pushed up. And during the previous recession, the 2008 recession, my gold actually went up 70%, which is not bad over about 4 years. That's a pretty good return. Nothing that could match Bitcoin, but back in the day, that was pretty good. But then during that same time, my silver went up 260%, right? So silver is more volatile, you know. In by percentage, it kind of goes up much more and crashes much more than gold does. It's kind of like a lot of these altcoins compared to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin goes up somewhat, and then other coins go up even more, right? By percentage. And then when shit crashes, like this whole year, Bitcoins crash somewhat, and then altcoins just obliterate. Most of the altcoins are down at least 90%, and Bitcoin is only down like almost 80%. And that hurts. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not as bad as if I owned like Ethereum or XRP or BitConnect or some shit. Well, BitConnect, I like to throw those in with a lot of alts, but and throw it in their face basically. But basically, it was like an absolute scam compared to like just a lot of altcoins. So basically, during that, when you're going into a recession, as we are now and as we are in 2008, I highly prefer silver over gold, because during the next 2 or 3 years, probably 2 years, before the economic crash bottoms out, we're going to have, I mean, it's going to be serious. There's going to be a lot of stocks dropping, companies going bankrupt, people losing their jobs, banks and brokerages are going to go out of business, and it's just going to be a lot of unemployment, and a lot of people are going to lose a lot, and especially people who are like, you know, leveraged to the hilt, and then if they lose their job for just a few months, they start losing serious assets and their whole lives just go down. But in any case, and then of course banks and brokerages go out of business, and working class people like us will tend to get obliterated, whereas big players like Citigroup and whatnot, they will get bailed out and they will be made whole because they're just big. You know, it's one of the benefits you get from being big and affiliated with the deep state and all that. So during recessions, as we're going into a recession, I vastly prefer silver, but I of course vastly prefer bitcoins, but I own both. But when we're climbing out of a recession, like in 2011, when silver reached $48 an ounce, I cashed in a lot of it. Well, when it started coming down, I cashed in half of it for the down payment on this house. And I bought the house at the bottom of the market, man. I bought it for $160,000, whereas it's worth about $300,000 now. But I made the mistake of allowing my bitcoins to my silver to just sit there as the price just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. And if I had it to do all over again, which I think I do, I would, at the height, you know, like right around $40-something an ounce, I would take about $2,000 at a time worth of silver, and I would take a little drive down to the coin shop and flip it over into gold. Because when precious metals started getting shorted down and controlled down by the banksters, right? The gold, right, maintained much more of its value than silver did. So my plan is, going into the recession, I'm going to keep my silver, and then at the peak, when we bottom out, when the recession usually bottoms out, probably about 2 years from now, then I will trade in all of my silver a little at a time and flip it over into gold. And then as a result, the gold, you know, I'll be locked into a more stable asset then, and then I will maintain more of my wealth as we are dropping. Wow, Bitcoins are up to 42.10. Nice, loving it. I mean, I get paid in a couple days, and I like to buy $1,000 every paycheck worth of Bitcoin, but looks like I'm going to be paying a little higher price this time. And I've tried timing the market, but every single time I try it, I don't do well. So I just buy every payday and go on with my life. So let's see. Oh, another cool bit of information: the Bitcoin Meister, one of the YouTubers I'm subscribed to, has opened a Bitbacker account, so that's pretty cool, and an excellent, not totally Bitcoin focused channel called the Cryptosphere. The guy is living in Thailand, and he is doing all kinds of crypto stuff, including maintaining a channel. I think he has got a great channel, and he's very informative. And he has just opened a Bitbacker account too, so this is awesome. Once upon a time, Patreon used to be a place where where MGTOWs and other people who say things that the deep state just doesn't like, right? Where they could go to still be supported by their subscribers, right? And now they have fallen, right? They have now been taken over, probably got threatened to be demonetized by their banks or having banking withdrawn, and the result is they put a lot of social justice warriors in the into determining who to demonetize or not, and they demonetized Sargon of Akkad, and that pissed off a lot of people, including me. And I pulled all of my Patreon subscriptions, and I am about to close that account because I want nothing to do with Patreon. And it's sad because the guy who started it was a freedom-minded guy, and he just had to knuckle under to the deep state because they just would have put him out of business. So, but now we have Bitbacker, and that is an entirely crypto-funded operation. So, it's chances are it's going to be harder for the deep state and the people like that to take it over. Basically, the deep state, right, just like they do all over the place, in order to secure control over the country and make it sort of a totalitarian dream for them, totalitarian nightmare for us, they get the useful idiots like all the leftists and social justice warriors, and they use it to like divide up the population in many different little groups to so that they can be easily controlled, and because they do not want us uniting against them. They don't want us having common ground. They want us all at each other's throats so that we are too busy fighting amongst ourselves to pay much attention to the banksters robbing us blind. But basically, so they fund all of these leftist organizations and feminism. It's just, it's a big, huge thing. You guys all know this. But basically, it's just a way of securing control, and they bring out all of the young people who are like totally clueless, and they indoctrinate them to be massive socialists and, anti-gun, and they don't like things like that sitting around. So and that way only the state, which is controlled by the deep state, has guns, right? So then it would be like a 1984 novel, Nightmare of a Boot Stomping on a Human Face Forever. So that's what we Bitcoiners and MGTOWs are really against. And those of us who are trying to speak out on this sort of thing, when we really become relevant and really start to take off, like Sargon of Akkad and probably Jordan Peterson too, he's probably next. Those people will get the benefits that the conventional economy, the deep state, and everything provide, like banking and PayPal and Patreon and YouTube monetization. Those things can all be used to punish punish people into silence, and if they aren't silent, they then attack them financially, try to make them impoverished, pull their channels, and then if that fails, they arrest them, just like they did several people in the UK when they spoke out against like Muslim immigration and stuff like that. That is like a crime over there. Speech is criminalized over there. Lovely. And they put the guy in jail. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a big freedom YouTuber in the UK. So in any case, that's why I'm really happy to see things like Bitbacker get popular. So, okay guys, I think I will let you go, and don't get married.